Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me as we start yet another Manitoba Math Contest. This time we'll be looking at the 2014 Manitoba Math Contest, or MMC. And like all the past ones and all the future ones that I'll end up doing, we've got 10 questions on this contest aimed at the grade 12 level. We've got 2 hours, so if you want to try this contest on your own, which I always encourage you guys to do, give yourselves 2 hours. Try it under actual contest conditions. And do remember, probably most importantly, no calculators. Put these calculators up where you can't reach them. No calculators allowed. You have to do it all by hand. Okay? Or, by mind. So, like the past videos, I'm going to just go question by question, video by video. So in this one, of course, we're going to be looking at question number 1. So question 1, in a picket fence, 1A, in a picket fence, each picket is 10 centimeters wide, and the space between consecutive pickets is 50 centimeters wide. What is the length of a straight fence if it has exactly 50 pickets? Okay, so there's going to be ever so slightly a little bit of a trick to this one. This is what I call the fence post problem. A lot of people will just sort of say, okay, 10 centimeters per picket and 5 centimeters for a gap. 10 plus 5 is 15 centimeters. So 15 centimeters per picket, multiply that by 50, we're done. But that's not the way we actually use pickets and build fences, and we sort of have to know that. Okay? That's why I call it the fence post problem. So that's how it was originally explained to me, although, I could probably start calling it the picket problem. Picket fence problem. Now we've got our pickets here, but if I have 2 pickets, I have a gap, just one gap, a gap. If I have 3 pickets, I have 2 gaps. So somebody might come along and say 50 pickets, but you don't add up a gap and a picket and multiply it by 50, as I see a lot of people do. You have to sort of draw yourself a little picture. For n pickets, we have n minus 1 gaps. Okay, each picket gets a gap that follows it other than the very last picket. Okay, so in this case, we've got 50 pickets, each giving us 10 centimeters, plus 50 minus 1 gaps, each giving us 5 centimeters. I'll just double check I got those measurements right. Yep, 10 centimeters for the pickets, space between them, 5 centimeters. Okay, so 50 times 10, well, that's 100 centimeters, 500 centimeters. And then 49 times 5 centimeters. Well, we could, do 49 times 5 by hand. We certainly aren't going to be reaching for our calculators. Or, we don't even have to simplify to 49 at this point. Do 50 times 5. It'd probably be a lot easier. 5 times 5 is 25 with a 0 on the end. And do the minus 1 times 5. Okay, that might be easier for you. Go with whatever's easiest for you when you have to do calculations on your own. Make sure it's easy, try and be fast, but above all, make sure you're accurate. So 500 plus 250, that's going to be 750 centimeters. Minus another 5 centimeters is going to be 745 centimeters. And that's going to be our final answer. That is the length of a 50 picket fence. Okay. So that's 1A. Now we've got 1B here. 2 kinds of pickets are available. Some are 10 centimeters wide, and some are 15 centimeters wide. The space between the pickets is still 5 centimeters. Wide and narrow pickets alternate. Okay. What is the longest fence that can be built using 27 pickets? Okay, now 27. They chose 27 because if it was 26, we'd have an even number because of the alternating. But if we imagine our pickets now, if we look at a smaller odd number case, if we've got 3 pickets, we could have wide picket, thin, narrow picket, wide picket, same gaps, or we could have narrow picket, wide picket, narrow picket. Okay, we have to choose, and if it were even, however, we'd get the same number of wide and narrow pickets, and we get the same length here. But because it's odd, we'll get we will tickle in my throat. We will get an unequal number with both cases. So we'll use 14 wide pickets and 13 narrow pickets for a total of 27. Okay. So now we've got 14 wide at 15 centimeters apiece, 13 narrow, 10 centimeters apiece, and still 27 minus 1 gaps with 5 centimeters apiece. Okay, well that's 130 centimeters. We're going to do that really quickly. This shouldn't be an equal sign. This should be a plus sign. 14 times 15. That's 15 squared, 225, minus another 15. So that would be 210. I guess bring the 2 over and it'll be 7 times 30, which is another way of saying 210. I'm going to say this is 26. 26 times 5. Now multiplying by 5 is the same as multiplying by 10 and dividing by 2. So it'll be 2600 divided by 2. 26 over 2 is 130 as well. Okay. And now it's up to us to add these up. 13, that's 26. Plus 21 is 46 plus 1, so 47. So 470 centimeters. And that finishes off question number 1. Now you do need to justify on this contest, so maybe explaining a bit more about, why do you know 14 wide is how many you'll have and 13 narrow to get the longest. But I don't think there's a whole lot to be done there. It is still question 1 here. And in the next video, we'll be looking at question 2. Fancy that. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.